Hello everyone, today we continue talking about live streaming and I would like to show how to add such graphics to your live using Atem Mini upstream keying and OBS Studio. Let's go. We have the following workflow. We need to create animated graphics, title, an opener and a simple transition, setting up an OBS Studio scenes to display our graphics in Atem Mini. And lastly, set up the display of our graphics in Atem Software control using upstream key. You can make your own graphics or use the draft animation templates. I've already prepared a few animations for us: opener, background, transition, title, and I will send it into render. I'm using the following settings for my render. It's QuickTime format and channels RGB plus alpha. After rendering we can start setting up the OBS scenes. Let's start from the creation scene title. I will make a new scene. And first, I would like to add color source. Call it green. And let's choose this green color. I think it should work fine for us. Be sure that you have the same resolution as your Atem Mini settings and press OK. Now we have our green screen. And right now we can add our media source to our OBS Studio. Call it title name, and we need to find our file. In my case, I've already prepared it. We don't need to make it loop because I would like to see the animation is complete, because it will be appears on our screen and disappears after a few seconds. And I would like to keep on restart playing when source become active because it helps us in the future. Hardware recording off and show nothing on. With rest settings we can keep by default, and we don't see our animation because our resolutions of media source is too big. Let's just adjust the size of our animation. Right now we can see our animations on the screen, and when we will make it visible or invisible, it will start playing. After a few seconds the animations will be disappears. I like it. Right now we are ready to move to our Atem Software control to set up our keying. Here we need to choose upstream key 1, choose chroma, and fill source is gonna be our laptop, because we are sending our images through OBS to input number 4. And here we also can choose a chroma sample from our green screen layer. And after that we need to put our upstream key live. So for that we can press the button on air, and then we can start playing our animation from beginning. For that we just need to make our source title visible, and you can see what our lower third goes live. And after that, in a few seconds the animations will be disappeared. Here you need to check a few things. First, let's start our animation again and make a pause in the middle of it. After that we can move back to our upstream key and check our settings. And if you have any artifacts on your screen, you can adjust key adjustments and chroma corrections, just to be sure that your animation is displayed normally, without any artifacts. Let's move on. I will make a title name invisible right now. Let's move to our opener. I would like to add a transition for this opener and put it live. For it, I would like to make a copy of our green screen and add it to our opener. Remember about the layers. The green screen should be located on the bottom of sources, so we can see our animations on top of it. And after that I need to add one more media source. It's gonna be our transition. I'm gonna choose the file. We don't need to make it loop. We want to play it again when it will become active, and everything else we can keep by default. Press OK. As you can see, we can see our transition right now. And here we need to plan how we will work with our transitions, just to be sure that we will show it in correct way. First of all, we need to make our layers invisible except our green screen. Keep it on. After that we need to check our settings in Atem Software control. We just wanna be sure that our upstream key 1 is on all the time. In this case we will know that after the transition we can put our opener live. And right now let's back to our OBS Studio. And to see our opener live, we just need to play our sources one by one. So we will start from the transition, wait until it will cover all the screen, and then we can play our opener. You just need to remember what you need to play your opener in the middle of a transition to get a smooth transition between scenes. And let's try to do it. We play in the transition and after that opener. And we get a smooth animation in our live. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments and see you in the next video. Bye!